For this video, I'm going to be referencing a term coined by DigiBrony. In his video on characterization, Digi describes a concept he calls aesthetic persona, where even if a character does not have very much depth or development, their voice, design, and actions can attract attention and make them interesting. During a recent rewatching of this video, I thought of Pacifica's friends and how I came to the conclusions I did about them through this same concept. We all know I'm a Pacific fan, and this love for a rich blonde girl can extend over to our posse, or as Alex Hirsch would prefer to call them, Thing 1 and Thing 2. This simple joke of an answer said a lot about these two, or at least in terms of the overall show. By writing them off, Alex basically just expressed how unimportant these two actually are. They carry very little weight, and likely won't ever make even the slightest impact on the show. Their entire existence is merely to fill up space and build on Pacifica's characterization as the popular girl. And that's it. Despite this truth, however, I found myself latching onto this duo and headcanoning them into oblivion. And I credit this to not only my Pacific fan habits, but their aesthetic persona. For sake of conversation, we're going to need to give them names. My headcanon names for these two are Kirby and Lola. Kirby I named after a girl I knew when I was younger. Initially, it was because her magenta hair reminded me of her, but it was also due to my own perception of this person. Back then, I was incredibly jealous of Kirby. I perceived her as this amazing, perfect person I just couldn't be, and I felt very bitter about that. I have gotten over my insecurity since then and learned not to put others on such a high pedestal. But for inadvertently making such an impact in my life, I feel the need to honor her. Lola, on the other hand, well, I kinda just like the name. Name inspirations out of the way, let's take a look at their visual appearance. Looking at these two initially, it's clear that they are supposed to be emulating their leader, which makes sense. But even though these two are Pacifica copycats, it doesn't stop them from having even a sliver of an individual identity. If fashion can be considered the very trends within what I like to call the cosmetic arts, then style is the individual and personal taste one has when interpreting and replicating said trends. As a duo, Kirby and Lola act as a black and white contrast. They sport inverted colors in the bold, color block pattern. They're also clearly designed to go with Pacifica. I also think it's clever how the colors are chosen for these three. Red and blue make purple, which is Pacifica's signature color. By wearing the others' colors, you get the feel on how they are a duo. They go hand in hand. Pacifica, however, doesn't wear either of the colors and just sticks with the combined result. It's as if they are supporting her, yet she doesn't even recognize them. This is made more interesting when you consider that they weren't even invited to the Northwest's grand party. And well, they didn't even show up at all. Individually, we'll start with Kirby. Her signature color is a bright cyan blue. Her design is very simple, a clear Pacifica clone. Her hair has sharp cuts and edges in the line art. Her dress has a V-neck and her high-heeled shoes have a pointed toe. Her nose is also drawn with a sharp point. Kirby's eyelashes are drawn uniquely from the other girls in the show. She is given two curved lines to indicate lashes, the top one being longer than the other. I kinda think this looks like a cat eye. Kirby's Pioneer Day outfit trades in a lot of the sharpness in exchange for a very simple and subdued looking gown and bonnet. Kirby usually has this wicked smirk on her face. Comparatively, let's look at Lola. Her signature color is red and she appears to be wearing a peach lip color. While Kirby doesn't have much going on in terms of accessories, Lola has plenty. She's got the headbands, the thin hoop earrings, the pearls, the ribbons and bows, the curls, and some really gorgeous boots I would love to have for myself. Wherever Kirby is straight lines and sharp edges, Lola is smooth curves. Her Pioneer Day outfit is a purple dress with puppy sleeves and an apron. And of course, balls. Lola usually appears with a frown on her face and is often scrunching her eyebrows. These two make very few appearances in the show, mostly reduced to mere cameos. Most of said appearances are spent just following Pacifica around and doing little to nothing. They cheer her on during that party crown contest thing, though whether or not this is genuine is up for debate. Their only extended appearance is in Boys Crazy. Throughout this episode, it's clear that the trio are several times fangirls. Lola jumps in proclaiming her love for a member when Kirby barges in disapprovingly. With possessive fangirl dialogue, she then proceeds to smack Lola with a chair before the two get into a slap fight. Then Tyler the cute biker comes in with a punchline and I LOL. So what does this say about them as individuals? Well, this interaction is kinda up for interpretation. This is just mine. By jumping in so innocently, as well as this pose over here, Lola's actions seem very naive. She lacked judgment of what her actions might cost. Kirby, on the other hand, responded with possessiveness and aggression. Between the two, only Lola has ever made a cameo in Season 2 thus far. 2 of them, actually. The first is in Susan the Real Girl. Here, Lola can be seen in the background walking with a man during Susan and Melody's date. We can go under the assumption that this man might be a parental figure to her, though by doing that, any impression of a rich girl you might have had about her before may just shatter and break. Lola's second cameo is as a wooden figurine during Mabel's manic shipping in Love God. Looking at all of this canon information, I think their individual identities can be interpreted somewhere beyond just being a couple of Pacifica clones. This Kirby is way different than the Kirby I knew. While the girl I envied was very kind and social, this Kirby is aggressive, mean, straightforward, and kinda has this no fucks attitude about her. She just oozes with meanness and an evil smirk. Meanwhile, Lola has the softer, more innocent air around her. She's very naive and likely doesn't have much to brag about when it comes to her home life. In fact, this could possibly be said about both of them. Neither of them make any appearances in Northwest Mansion Mystery. This could imply that the Northwest don't consider them rich and powerful enough to invite to such an exclusive party. It's these girls' physical appearance, actions, and just where they do and don't show up that makes up any potential character. This is their aesthetic persona.